Technocopia is a Worcester makerspace. Their dream is to move from their Gateway Park location to the Printers Building downtown, alongside the Worcester Think Tank and IA Design. Will they achieve this dream? It's October 1st, 2015, and this is 508, a show about Worcester, Worcester's libertarian voice. Today on the show, we're at Technocopia. I'm Mike Benedetti, and I'm here with these guys.
I am Ian Anderson.
Joe Forget.
Nicholas Bold.
Thanks for letting us tape a show here, guys. This is fantastic. I've always wanted to be here, and finally I'm here. So you're currently in this building doing all your activities, and you want to move out of this building.
That's true.
Why is that?
Well, we do have a little bit of an issue with the building itself.
Okay.
Which creates some other issues for us in that we'd like to be able to invite children to come down to our space, to our makerspace, to build and to learn, and it's probably not the best facility for it. At least the insurance companies don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, well, let's go inside and show me around a little bit, and then
Sure.
we'll talk more about what you're up to.
Yeah.
So I should actually ask you guys. People don't know what a makerspace is. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
Sure.
How do you define
I
it?
definitely recommend. So it's kind of we have a membership model, so it's like structured like a gym. You grab a membership and you have access to the space and the equipment. But instead of like the exercise equipment, we have tools, manufacturing equipment, workshops. Actually a huge assortment. We got a wood and metal shop. We'll soon have a bigger wood shop. We'll have educational program. We'll have entrepreneurial services. We have in-house lawyer and in-house bookkeeper. It really is sort of the best place to lower the costs of the things that you do, and then in the midterm and long term to eventually build a livelihood around what you do and what you make. And it's worked pretty great. We've got a couple in-house companies that really prove the point, and then a number of artists and craftsmen that use this place in their retirement or as students or just as a landing pad after college to continue to have access to services.
So this, and here in the entryway, you have some of the stuff people have been working on. You have that. You actually have this robot.
Yes.
Which won $500.
We didn't screw it up prize.
Okay.
But this is Henry. It's an autonomous search and retrieve robot. We compete in the NASA WPI Touch Tomorrow Challenge, which is fabulous. It's a great challenge. I think we're getting at least one more year to refine this, and then I think they're switching to quadcopters. But the project was led by one of our members here. Is a WPI grad, and then he roped in some of the guys from our in-house robotics company and a couple other members, and they started working on this project as part of we wanted to participate, so
Cool.
we did.
Cool. We got plenty of other little robotic things here. We have some things that are machine cut out over here.
Yep, those are mostly laser cut goods. A little bit of Hollywood mask making. Halloween is a big sort of calendar event for us. We get a lot of opportunities to do really neat stuff for Halloween. Yeah.
And here's a bunch of other. You actually some knit. Do people knit here? Some knit Daleks.
Yeah.
Nice.
The knit is actually something that one of our electrical engineers does.
Cool. Well, show me some more of what we got here.
Let's
Sure.
talk about the desk.
Oh.
Yeah. So this desk is it's a open source blue. I'm not sure if it's actually open source. It's a blueprint we got offline from an artist. He puts his designs out.
Okay.
And then he's got a license. I don't want to say open source. I don't remember the actual terms of the license. It was 2 years ago that we printed this. But basically the blueprint exists. And you can take the file, load it onto the CNC, which is,
Around the corner here.
around the corner, and literally just print it out.
So this is you downloaded this, then you slapped the plywood on the bed over there, and
we there's a little bit of labor involved in terms of like loading, unloading the machine and actual assembly, but
Sure.
we like to pretend as part of the the story of what we do is the design was off the internet for free and there's no labor that went into this product. So at this point, that table represents a product, an item that you can get that effectively only had a material cost. There was no labor cost and no development cost that went into
Oh, and you have
having this good come out of
you have
our machines.
a chair too that's all plywood.
Yes, we've made much better chairs than that. This is, I tell people that the stuff that's here is stuff that's retired or broken, because the stuff that's really impressive goes out the door with people, and they put it to work and different things. So we've got crown gems that are like robots that are on track to do like brain surgery and human surgery.
But people aren't leaving those around the.
No, they don't keep them here. They go to like research hospitals and stuff.
Okay, so show me.
Sure.
Show me some.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we got the 3D printer started.
All right, let's look at this for a second. I think a lot of people have heard of a 3D printer, but for people who haven't, it's basically drawing with melted plastic. Is that right?
Yeah. It's a stuffed up hot glue gun, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure, you have plastic filament here. It's called PLA plastic, and it gets fed into one of these 2 extruders here, which essentially is a hot glue gun. It melts the plastic at just a hot enough of a temperature for it to melt on there to be able to build this up layer by layer, 0.2 millimeters at a time. It's right now building an igloo, a larger version than this. My son designed it, and I'm trying to take him through some design stuff. But yeah,
Terrific.
that's what he's doing right now.
Terrific. What else we got here?
So it's a working space, so mind the clutter. But
Sure.
we got electronics workstation, another sort of not quite put together electronics workstation. We've got bike tools for a small bike shop, so we repair a lot of bikes here. Some of our staff commute on bikes and different things. We got sewing, leatherworking, clothworking tools. There's more leatherworking tools down the line. To your right is some of our chemical storage. You got stuff for Hollywood mask making, different Hollywood magic sort of stuff.
Okay.
The bulk of the sort of supply that you see, we have a community here. We try to do a policy of generally take some, leave some. So people leave a lot of scrap and a lot of extra, like leather work, adhesives, glues, paints,
Yeah.
3D print plastic, all sorts of stuff. So we try to encourage people to be part of a community here, which really facilitates like innovation and cross sharing of skills and sharing of expertise. So a lot of this stuff is actually just available. We've got tons of electronics, scrap, and different things, so people can really dig into projects. This back corner is like behind the everything, behind the whiteboard and stuff. So this corner back here is Robotics. This is our in-house robotics cooperative. They're a registered worker cooperative, which might mean something to some of your viewers. They've done everything from medical applications like the robot that does brain surgery. They have a consumer product that they invented and developed here and are trying to go to market out of our space. They do industrial contracts, and then we've done a number of educational programs where we've taught children how to do robotics and engineering and CAD, all sorts of crazy fun things that we're trying to then bring with us, blend it in with some of our partners like the Worcester think tank, and then we'll be able to do like. Well, let's
look at one more thing, and then we should talk about this whole the whole collaboration. The move.
Yeah, no worries.
We have another loud device over here.
Oh, I'm so glad that's going well. So this is my dad brews beer at home, and we got a family crest. He did like the ancestry thing.
There it is.
He had a big. It was a big phase for him, and I sort of snuck the logo out, and I'm getting it laser cut. This is going to be a longer project. I'm going to be making a bunch of Bold Brewery brand beer 6-packs and stuff for him for the holidays. So
what's this machine?
This is our laser cutter. And
so this is the first time I think we've had a laser on the show.
Yes. So the laser tube's in the part in the back there.
Sure. Okay.
It rides on this gantry. The gantry is part of the CNC.
And so it's burning this design.
Yes. It can also do like cutting. So you can do basically it's a laser cutter and engraver. And then you can get these things in almost any size, and this one will do like wood, plastic, papers, and other sort of bio material and stuff like that. But you can get larger ones that can go right through metal and all sorts of other materials. They're pretty impressive.
So we should talk about where things are at right now with Technocopia. Now, people may have heard that you guys are doing an Indiegogo campaign, an online crowdfunding campaign, to move to a new space in the printers building downtown. Right now we're in Gateway Park, kind of near. I've talked to people who don't know where Gateway Park is. Kind of near to WPI, kind of not. WPI and Lincoln Square, somewhere in there. So you guys are going to move, and then you're going to move over with the Worcester think tank, who we've had on the show before, who do youth education, and you're going to move with IA Design, which is Ian Anderson's wood shop and all his goodies and a bunch of people who are members there to use all that wood stuff. So the three organizations, you're going over there, you're going to go downtown, and you're going to have the complete package.
That's what we're hoping for, absolutely.
Okay.
So one critical component we feel we're kind of missing here is the educational aspect. To learn how to use these tools, you kind of need to make friends with Ian or Nick and find out what's going on. But what we need is a good educational program so you can come down, sign up for a class, and learn how to, laser cut Christmas ornaments or something like that. And that's what Lauren and Ian are going to be bringing to us from Worcester Think Tank, is for them to be able to bring the educational programming to us, which is excellent.
That is so awesome.
And all three facilities, all three organizations kind of need an upgrade in facilities for various reasons, whether it be space or rooms or whatnot. So
Sure.
that's something that the Printers Building is also offering all of us.
And so you folks are trying to raise about $15,000 to be able to put up walls and do some electrical changes and things like that.
Right, it's for the build out for the construction of the new space. We'll be creating some classrooms and a lounge, which, to rebuild what Lauren has going on at Think Tank right now. And also because we have a lot of equipment that wouldn't be appropriate for children to be around, we're going to have to build an infrastructure for the children to be able to hang out in the classroom and the lounge, but not necessarily be around the table saws, because
Sure.
they have to be in two separate locations.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Show me some more stuff.
Yeah. Let's keep going. You want to speak to the cubicles?
Yeah. So these cubes that you see are sort of ad hoc, a little ad hoc.
Uh-huh.
But these are private areas for our members. So our basic membership gets you access to the whole space, all of our tools, all the spaces, all the common areas. There are work tables and workbenches in the lot. And if you have a basic membership, we ask that you clean up and be respectful of the community. In terms of the next step, we have space agreements that we work out with our members so that they can have private areas where they can work on larger projects or have a space that they don't have to, spend a half hour before and 45 minutes after, set up and clean up every time they come in.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these cubes, so this is one of our members. He came here in his retirement, or he's a retired computer scientist, and he saw basically all the robots, and he insists that he can build one, and he picked quite possibly the hardest one he could possibly have picked.
Awesome.
And this will be the most high precision machine we have in house when he's finished. It's going to be amazing. This will be
this is another CNC.
Yeah, it's a CNC router, so it'll be similar to the one that we have, but
Way more.
like outrageously better.
Way more precise.
This is one of our artists. He's preparing for our Honk Festival, which is in Boston. So
Oh, yeah.
he's got some of his art here, and he's got some of his art over there, and he's been working really hard. Eric is also directly responsible for the logos and iconography and a lot of the art that you see in our space. He's prolific in terms of Technocopia, anyways. This area here is our third in-house company. He's a product manufacturer. He makes LED gloves. They're popular in clubs and raves and different sorts of things. So
here's the glove part.
yeah, I keep asking him to put out some demos, but basically he manufactures. He loads these little things up. He loads these little LEDs into the fingers of the gloves, and then you can
Wave your hands around and it'll be cool.
Actually, it is actually a lot cooler than it sounds. They really do look great in the right lighting, and they're pretty great. He came to us with sort of a business model that was already intact, which makes it easy to cater to him. But he produces about 30 of these a week, and it's his full-time. It's his full-time job, and he has one. He brought on one employee recently, and she helps him manufacture and do the bills and take care of everything. It's actually pretty amazing. It's exactly the kind of thing that we're trying to do here, and it really proves the point.
So besides being just like a super amazing garage workshop kind of a thing, this is like a business incubator. People are coming in, building businesses, growing businesses.
It's a little more earthy than I think. Like there's a lot of business incubators that are maybe catered to like a .com company or something, and they have a very clean environment. This is very much sort of an incubator for manufacturing, people who are making a thing, and it's exquisite for sort of a prototyping space. I would say this might be sort of a nuanced thing. This is something that you can manufacture in big numbers like this, but we have tools here that are also intended for prototyping something that you would ship out to a large-scale manufacturer to be able to hit economies of scale.
Yeah, because you wouldn't like want to 3D print all your things and sell them that way because it takes forever.
I would.
No,
I think we could and in the long term we're going to try. There are a lot of interesting avenues in terms of new styles of manufacturing around digital manufacturing, tools like 3D printing, where instead of having sort of a high-end manufacturing pipeline that you would go to a full-time manufacturer for, you could have like a bank of 3D printers producing products. And there's a certain subset of products that this would be exquisite for, maybe something that has more individuality to it, like each product is a little bit customized.
Sure.
And there are different advantages. Manufacturing is sort of reaching out into additive manufacture and digital manufacture. There's a lot of new ideas in the market of how to manufacture things, and sort of the environment is changing. But there's a lot of different kinds of, high-end arguments of why sort of a redundant, low-end manufacturing system might produce a better foundation to build a business on, as opposed to always going for sort of a large-scale manufacturer that's maybe less nimble and more expensive to shift directions with your product or do something that's more unique.
Sure. Great.
Yeah.
What else do we got here?
This private area is the project team for the autonomous robot that was up front. Very clearly, there's a lot that went into it. There's equipment in here for robots that were supposed to be the sister robots of the one that's up front, or brother robots, I guess. We named it Henry. So, but then there's recharge equipment. There's a whole bunch of testing equipment here for the robot had to be trained, had to be taught how to see things, had to be taught how to discern those things from other stuff. Tons of equipment here. It was really an intense project, and we're going to be spinning up soon for another attempt this year. It was quite the project. This area here is another one of our members. He builds CNC equipment from scratch, so you can see one of a small CNC. And then he also builds like 3D printers and stuff. So he's like the guru of digital manufacturing, and him, like Neuron Robotics, like all of our other members, is just a huge asset within this community. So as people need skills, they go to him, and that gives him sort of a special place within the community in terms of he's an expert that people seek out, but it also in the long term, especially in terms of the classroom and education program that we're going to be building at the new location, gives him an additional mode to generate revenue, so he can get closer to a place where his work and his passion is his full-time job, as opposed to right now where he has to split that between being a student at WPI and doing the things that he loves to do. Back here is our wood shop. It will not be. This is not Ian's wood shop. This is
the current wood shop.
This is our current wood shop. These tools belong to my grandfather. He was a woodworker and locksmith. So we have his locksmithing tools back here.
Okay.
Everything you would need to create locks, deadbolts, and the keys that match.
Oh wow.
It is actually really cool.
This is it?
Yeah. This and some of the other equipment is in here. And as with
Nobody can see this because it's too dark.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's okay.
And then, as with everything, there's lots of extras and spares and extra materials that we have that people can use to sort of get into in terms of like experimenting before they waste too much money on something that might not be their thing, or figure out a process, figure out the method before they start doing like larger scale manufacture and making plans and different stuff. So we have a lot of extra. Same thing goes for the wood scrap in the back. All that's available to members. You can see a lot of it's been used time and time again.
Oh, and here's a person doing this art thing
Yes.
and using this big space to be able to lay it out.
I
And
think it's supposed to be, it's going to be a tiny man with a huge tuba, and then there's going to be a marching band marching along
Around
and
the
out
swirl.
of the tuba.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty intense. And so Eric is incredible, and this is one of the biggest things to me that really makes a space like this better and more advantageous. It's this idea of innovation that's really hard to pin down. There's lots of industry experts that are really trying to figure out innovation and really pin it down and market off of it and create value off of figuring it out. And education's all about trying to figure out where innovation comes from and stuff. And to me, I think a lot of it is this cross section of people coming from completely different places working on things together. So as an artist, Eric routinely pushes our machines to limits the engineers don't even approach. And I can show you some of the examples that really speak to this, but this is just one of them. He uses the digital tools in-house. This looks done by hand, and some of it is.
So this
but a
is
lot of this
digitally put on here?
Yes.
This is printed on here?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I wish he was here. He could speak to exactly how he does it, but he routinely just pushes the borders. And on the one hand, him as an artist, he sees a vision, and the engineers, when he hits his roadblocks, he goes to an engineer and has them strip that impediment away from his artistic vision. But then in the reverse, he pushes machines to limits that then enable engineers to come up with, to look at these problems, understand that their machines are capable of going further, and then trying to approach the manufacturing process from a way that just wasn't considered before, that only an artist who's outside of maybe the engineering pedagogy can really sort of have access to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian Anderson, let me ask you while we're standing here in the wood shop for a second. So whenever your wood shop is merged into Technocopia, what will that look like?
Well, right now my wood shop is on the other side of town, over by Webster Street, and I have about 10 members who share a full shop. We have basically a full cabinet shop, and I'd say about half of our members do woodwork professionally, the other half as a hobby. So we're very excited to merge with Technocopia and bring our resources here, and in the new location, and have access to what they have, and then the same thing, they'll have access to a really well laid out and set up shop.
Yeah, because you guys are very, you guys do very good work, I think.
And we try to.
Yeah. So we have about 5 minutes. Can we
Do we have time maybe to see Kevin's robot?
Let's
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Let's
whatever.
through that room in there.
Well, we should look at this.
Oh, yeah, of
This is
CNC
one of
router.
this was one of the CNC. So this is a robotic router,
Yeah.
and this is I guess the sheet that was under the
Yep.
things that were being
that's
cut out.
Yeah, we call it the dead board. I'm sure there's probably some industry professionals that actually know what that's supposed to be called.
But so somebody was making these Christmas tree ornaments
Yep,
earlier.
that's Mark Tozer. He's out of Tapnik Magnet,
Uh-huh.
and he came here and immediately was like, I need to bring all of this to my kids. And he routinely comes here to do work, not with his kids, he has to bring it with, but at the new location, it might actually be possible for him to start bringing his students to really just go hands-on. But basically, you load a digital file into this machine, and it literally will take it from there.
And then you just slap down a full sheet of plywood or whatever you need, and
That's
it
right.
cuts it
It
up.
doesn't have to be. I mean, it doesn't have to be plywood. We got a whole boatload of corrugated plastic that we got to get rid of and stuff. That half of that went into a big rave. There's a group in the city called Fractal Tribe
Sure.
that does huge parties a la Burning Man, and they use that to build their sets.
Oh.
A bunch of light shows stuff,
awesome.
everything. But we've done light metals, woodworking, all sorts of stuff with it. This machine is also the parent machine for one that we're developing in-house. Bigger, faster, stronger, smarter.
So you're making machines of the machines. Here.
Yeah, this right here is for a different thing. They just hung it up there.
Oh,
but
okay.
this gantry
It doesn't
right
have
here-
wheels. That would
Yeah,
be
no, that's they're making a robot elephant for parades, and that
Uh-huh.
is the chariot, the wind chariots. But the big router there is an in-house project that's shared across
So you wanted to show, you said we need to see a robot?
Absolutely. So this is Kevin Harrington.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi again.
We got 5 minutes.
Cool. So what Neuron Robotics does, we are one of the worker cooperatives that is housed out of Technocopia. We build robot control systems of various sorts. The flashy one that we usually use for demos is Carl the Hexapod. And
Okay.
what's neat about Carl the Hexapod is you use this little game controller to tell him to walk.
Okay.
But probably much more interesting is the fact that this hexapod was designed by a 9-year-old in about 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
We use a piece of software that was also developed here at Technocopia, and if you can kind of see the screen, I don't know how much of that you can actually
zoom
see.
right in. Oh, so the screen has the hexapod
Has
driving
a
around?
simulation of the hexapod, and in fact, what you get to do is design a simulation in the software. The software will figure out how to make it walk. Will figure out what parts need to be manufactured, and will actually generate the 3D printed parts to send to their 3D printer so it can be assembled in about an hour. So again, a 9-year-old with a couple slide bars in this interface slidey barred this thing together and said, oh, I want this many legs, and it's kind of twisted like this. No, that's adorable. That looks like it walks. I see it on the screen walking. It's all in the simulation. It looks good. Hit print. Out it pops. And now you have real walking robots. The elephant that was made reference to just a few seconds ago, that's a larger version of the same system where you can say, I want a gigantic elephant, but this one, instead of being cut on, printed on the 3D printer, is cut on the CNC router that you just saw. So going from these ideas to actually getting up and walking suddenly becomes something that, without an engineering degree like I had, you can have real serious things start popping out. And for kids to play with, but also adults and engineering. In fact, this started as medical devices. So
The same platform that this is running on, and a cousin of the hardware is the backbone of that medical device that we did that does surgery and all that
The
stuff.
brain
So
surgery, because you developed a brain surgery
so
device here.
It's literally from teaching 9-year-olds robots that are automatically generated all the way up to medical surgical applications.
And this is your...
in fact, this is already a product that's available on the shelves in Micro Center everywhere in the country. But this is a product that is designed here at the makerspace, manufactured here at the makerspace, assembled and shipped here at the makerspace.
There it is. It's amazing. We are living in the future, Kevin.
We absolutely are living in the future.
So we got about 1 minute left. So we just want to say people need to Google Technocopia. They need to join Technocopia. They need to donate some money so you guys can move to the new place. Are you going to have like the elephant walk from this building to the new building maybe?
Oh, do a big elephant
Parade.
parade. That's a great idea.
It'd be like the robot
I mean,
circus.
January in Worcester. We'll see if the weather permits, but absolutely.
Ice skating elephant could be awesome too.
Ooh, ice skating elephant. I like that. Very Worcester.
Well, guys, thanks for showing me this. This seems like it's one of the best things in Worcester, I have to say. We got no time left. I'm Mike Benedetti. If you have any questions or complaints, you can always email us at pieandcoffee@gmail.com. Thank you, Technocopia. Good luck with your fundraising.
Thank you.
Thank you.